So the other day, Pokemon announced something kind of unexpected, at least for me. I haven't paid attention to leaks or anything like that. They announced that Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green will be coming to the Nintendo Switch, not like remakes or remasters, but direct ports of the Game Boy Advance games on the Switch, which is awesome. You know, for a while, we've wanted the old Pokemon games to be ported over to the Switch, and it seems like they're finally doing it. You know, the rumors of a classic collection, that's something we talk about literally every year when Pokemon Day is around the corner. Everyone wants a classic collection, and this isn't a classic collection, but it's a step in the right direction, you know? Now, I coped a little bit because they announced this a week before Pokemon Day, and I thought that was really weird. Why are they announcing this pretty big thing, you know, a Gen 1 remake, well, the remake to Gen 1 being ported to the Switch? Why would they announce that a week before their big Pokemon Day live stream, right? It didn't make any sense to me. It still doesn't make any sense to me because we haven't seen the live stream yet. My copium theory was that because they had announced this 7 days before Pokemon Day, and there were 7 generations released before the Switch, my theory was that every day for the next 7 days, they were going to announce another retro game being ported to the Switch. So Saturday, yesterday, would have been Gen 2, today would have been Gen 3. Obviously, this did not happen. I was coping, I admit it. On paper, it made a lot of sense, but that's not what happened. Given that this did not happen, I find myself a little perplexed. And again, I'm recording this before the Pokemon Day live stream, but I just don't understand why we're bringing Gen 1 back again. Like, am I the only one who is just kind of sick and tired of Gen 1? I mean, we already have Gen 1 on the Switch. We have Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And I shouldn't say I don't understand it. I get the Gen 1 is like the most popular gen, but like, do y'all ever get tired of Gen 1? I'm sick and tired of Gen 1. I don't even hate Gen 1. I'm just so tired of it. Between 151 and the TCG being like everyone's favorite thing ever, the copious amounts of Gen 1 remakes, Kanto remakes, and inclusions in other games, I just want to play something else. Like, if they would have announced literally any other game, I would have been so excited. And I'm still excited for Fire Red and Leaf Green. I've actually never played Fire Red and Leaf Green. I've played the other Gen 1 games, but I've never played Fire Red and Leaf Green. So I'm looking forward to playing it. But I'm just really hoping, I'm really still coping and crossing my fingers that next week they're going to be like, all right, guys, this is the first of a series of games that we'll be releasing over the next year as part of our 30th anniversary celebration. And by the end of the year, you'll have most of the Pokemon games, the main series games that have ever come out on the Switch. That's what I'm hoping happens. I haven't looked at leaks. I'm not going to look at leaks. I want to be surprised and then be disappointed. Gen 1 again? I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who's tired of Gen 1. I was really hoping for some Gen 2, 3, 4, 5. We can skip 6. We just got ZA, but like 7, you know? I'm not going to ramble on for too long about this. I was just kind of disappointed. I will briefly give my personal Pokemon Day predictions. Something I feel pretty confident about is they're gonna show Gen 10. That feels like a given. They're gonna show Gen 10. I'd be very surprised if they didn't show Gen 10. I also think that's gonna be coming out this year, and I think it's gonna be a Switch 2 exclusive. I think we're gonna see some cards from the Pokemon 30th Anniversary TCG set. I'd be kind of surprised if we didn't. I'm sure there will be some mobile game spin-off talk, and I'm decently confident that they will announce / maybe even release Pokemon XD and Colosseum on the Switch 2, because correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure last year when they announced the Switch 2, they talked about these GameCube ports, and XD and Colosseum were one of the ones they talked about, but to my knowledge, and I do have a Switch 2 and I haven't seen it, those are not out yet. So I'm predicting that we'll get some kind of release date for XD and Colosseum, which I'm very excited about. Those are some of my favorite Pokemon games. Outside of that, if I had to take a real shot in the dark, because those all seem pretty realistic to me, my 2 shot in the dark predictions would be more retro games coming to the Switch of any kind, and maybe some kind of spin-off that we somehow haven't heard about. But again, that feels unlikely. I think they're just going to talk about Gen 10. Oh, and Pokemon Champions. They're going to talk about Pokemon Champions. We're going to get a release date for Pokemon Champions because that's supposed to be coming out like this year. Anyway, I'd be pretty surprised if there was anything more than that. I'm really not expecting that much more than that. I know there are some people who are expecting like 3 or 4 games to get announced, and that shit is just not going to happen. But anyway, I don't know. Am I the only one who's disappointed that Gen Gen 1 is being brought back again. Maybe, I don't know, might be alone in this. We will see in 5 days. Here's to hoping that Gen 10 has voice acting of any kind. It's not going to. It definitely isn't going to.